our salaries are the only thing that are capped when it comes to us negotiating the CBA, and we understand where our league has been and where it's going.
Yeah, the CBA is coming up. I can't wait.
Girl, y'all benefited from everything. Y'all youngins benefited from NIL.
What does that mean? We deserve more.
What's going on, everybody? This is Heavy on Hoops, talking all things WNBA basketball today. So before we get started, go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button, guys, and let's go ahead, get right into it. So today's topic is one that could literally shape the future of the entire league. The WNBA's Collective Bargaining Agreement, better known as the CBA. And this is where the rubber meets the road between the players and the owners, and the tensions that's been building all season. So by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly where these talks stand, what's at stake, and how both sides are making their case. The WNBA is standing at a crossroads right now where the players want more, specifically more money, of course, and more rights, more say. The owners, they're saying, hold on, the numbers don't add up. So let's break this down. The history, the money, the player side, the owner side, and ultimately what this all means for the future of the league. But first, for anyone new to this, we'll look at just the bare basics as far as what the CBA actually is. The Collective Bargaining Agreement is a legally binding contract between the league's team owners and the players' union. It defines everything: salaries, benefits, travel, free agency rules, revenue sharing, and even how long the season lasts. In short, it's the rulebook for how the business of basketball runs. And right now, both sides are really trying to rewrite that rulebook. So let's look at how we actually got here. Just kind of looking at a brief history of the WNBA CBA agreements. The first one was April 30th, 1999, just 2 seasons into the league's history. That deal bumped the minimum salary from, this is gonna sound crazy, $15K to $30K. But that just shows how, far we come in, man, the 90s, whew. It's like keeping it a buck. It's like these women were making no money. And then came the 2003 CBA, which added real structure, true free agency, improved player rights, and a defined salary cap system. That negotiation even delayed the draft and preseason a bit, showing early tension between players and ownership. Then came the 2008 CBA, which stayed mostly behind closed doors. Not so many details were public, but it laid the groundwork for bigger player gains down the road. And then the big leap forward came in 2020. That agreement doubled some max salaries, introduced paid maternity leave, childcare, improved travel, and launched new player marketing deals, giving stars bonuses for helping promote the league. Fast forward now to 2025. That CBA officially expired October 31st, and both sides agreed to a 30-day extension. But we are right now in the middle of that 30-day extension with about a couple weeks left in November. So translation, they got a month to figure all of this out before the business stops. After all that progress, WNBA players say that they're fed up, and the biggest sticking point, again, revenue share, money, pay us what you owe, money, give us our paper, give us our money. But players receive roughly around 9.3% now. I'm sure you guys have heard that number a lot, but that's their slice. NBA players get 49 to 51%, NFL players get about 48%, MLB players get around 47%, MLS players get roughly 25%. So when players hit social media wearing those shirts, the pay us what you owe us during the All-Star game, it's not just emotion, y'all, it's math. And here's where the comparison gets really interesting, because even college athletes are eating now too with the NIL deals and everything. According to Front Office Sports, men's and women's college basketball players now account for nearly 29% of all athlete revenue sharing dollars, and Division I programs are allowed to share up to $20.5 million per school directly with athletes. That means even at the college level, women's hoops players are getting a bigger cut of the pie than the pros in the WNBA right now, which is really diabolically kind of messed up when you think about it. They're not even pros. So that adds a whole new layer to this debate. College athletes who are not even professionals can start seeing close to 30% of the total revenue. It's no wonder that the pros are saying we deserve our fair share too. When we look at some of the player quotes, Nneka Ogwumike said it best. We're seeing expansion, and the players are just saying like, hey, let us have our fair share of that. Nafisha Collier, who co-founded the new player-run Unrivaled League, added, the players are what's building this brand and this league. There is no league without the players. We feel like we are owed a piece of that pie we helped create. Sabrina Ionescu went even further and stated, we're not just going to take the minimum, we should be talking about things that are groundbreaking, being able to break down those barriers. And then you got Angel Reese, who summed up the frustration in plain language. I'm hearing that if they don't give us what we want, we're sitting out. And that's not an empty threat. That's the voice of a new generation that knows its value. But this is something to ponder though. The WNBA has a lot of momentum, and momentum that it's never had before. So a league stoppage is something that may not necessarily be in the best interest of the players or the league, but we'll tap on that just a bit later, because the league had their own clapback. So let's flip the script, because while the players are fed up, the league office and ownership groups have a very different perspective on all this. And surprisingly, it's not really so much greed. It's about survival and sustainability. The WNBA may be growing, but according to multiple reports and what's kind of been a running joke to a lot of people in media, is that it's just not a league that's turning a lot of profit right now. So the league has lost a lot of money every year since its creation, and roughly for, as far as it's been kept up with from about 2015 to 2020-ish, it's kind of been estimated that the league lost around $10 million every single year. And even in 2024, it's stated that the league lost somewhere around $40 to $50 million. And owners are just saying that, hey, before we get this deal done, people just have to understand there are some aspects of this business where we're just not there yet. A few years ago, the WNBA added franchises quickly, and in some cases, maybe a little too fast. And some of those teams folded or had to relocate because the business model just wasn't ready. So that's why you see new franchises now like the Golden State Valkyries and other cities circling interest, but each rollout is being done very cautiously. The message from the league, don't overexpand again before the economics are solid. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert has kept a calm but firm tone throughout this process. She stated, I'm really optimistic that we'll get something done and that it'll be transformative. The league does want change, but not a deal that would sink the financial model overnight. One league source told ESPN, the players are very important, no question, but this league still isn't that strong. You mess up the momentum right now and you're messing with your livelihoods for future generations. And basically the argument is this. Yes, the revenue is climbing, but so are the costs. Charter flights, new franchises, bigger broadcasts. All of those are investments, not immediate profits. So from a business standpoint, owners are saying, let's grow this thing before we start dividing it up. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, who's also involved in the WNBA's future financial planning, even said, share isn't really the right way to look at it. They're going to get a big increase in this cycle and they deserve it, but the league has to be careful. The players are seeing a boom in attendance, social media buzz, and corporate sponsors, and they're just like, where's our piece of the pie? So the tricky part is the league being too cautious, or are they holding the players back from their full potential of what women's basketball can really become? So what happens next? With this 30-day extension already in motion, the WNBA and the Players Association are officially on the clock. If a new deal isn't reached, the league faces two possible paths: a short lockout or a temporary freeze that could delay free agency and even training camps. So remember, the 2025 season is over. Free agency for 2026 should start in January, but that can't happen until a CBA is signed. And this free agency is pretty much lined up to be crazy, as players have kind of planned for bigger contracts to go along with the new CBA that they're planning to be in place. And Asia Wilson, Breanna Stewart, Agumake, Satu Sabali, and almost a dozen other all-stars are going to be free agents. So that's nearly all of the league's biggest stars waiting to see how this deal pays out. So it's going to be very interesting to see where this goes, because the league can either harness all of this momentum they have or risk losing it. But the players also have to be considerate in saying like, hey, we understand that, you know, there has to be some give, because while we are growing in popularity and we are the product and we're growing the league, you don't want to destroy and grow beyond what you can handle. But this is just my personal opinion. If you don't advocate for yourself, you know, who else is going to advocate for you? If you're seeing more money come into a business that you're putting your blood and sweat into and you're growing it, you're a pioneer, I want my piece of the pie, period. There's nothing to really argue at that point. But the WNBA is going to have to figure out something very soon, because big wild card in this, Project B, a brand new international league reportedly backed by massive global investors, with salaries rumored to reach around $2 million per year. Nneka Ogwumike, Alyssa Thomas, and Jonquel Jones are players that have officially signed on. And so now these moves speak volumes, because it's telling the league that if the WNBA doesn't figure out a fair CBA soon, top talent may start looking overseas for real leverage. So while players are fighting for a better deal at home, there's a new market that's forming that could completely change the economics of women's basketball. So this is Heavy on Hoops. Stay tuned, because whatever happens with the CBA, you know, we're going to be all over it. So make sure you hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments. At least let's keep that conversation going. I'm low-key kind of interested to see what's to this Project B thing. So I think I'm going to do some research. So look for a video on Project B. Anyway, that's the video, guys. Peace. And just quick update for context, this just came out as I was finishing production on this video. According to a new report from Marca on November 19th, 2025, the WNBA has officially presented a new CBA proposal to the Players Union. The offer includes historic salary increases, with the minimum jumping to over $220K for players with 0 to 2 years of experience, rising to over $460K for vets, and the max salary, get this guys, a max salary exceeding $1.1 million, which would be the first 7-figure salary in WNBA history. But, and this is a big but, the offer still does not meet the players' biggest demand, a true revenue sharing model tied to league growth. The league is sticking with fixed annual percentage increases instead of profit-based compensation. So yes, the money is way up, especially for players like a Caitlin Clark, who could instantly become one of the highest paid athletes in league history. But revenue share would stay around 9%, far below the NBA's 49 to 51%. And this means players face a tough choice: take historic guaranteed money or push further and risk delays for expansion drafts, free agency, and even the 2026 season.